my name is Madeline, and welcome to this Yin Yoga class for improving your posture. So, a lot of us tend to kind of go through our days hunched over, which can also come from emotional stress. So, we'll be doing some heart opening poses, some shoulder opening, and hopefully having this chance to take some time for yourself will also help relieve some of that stress as well. And if you like to use props in your class, you can grab a couple of blocks that might be helpful, but if you don't have them, no worries. And we'll get started with 3 deep breaths just to ground into the space. You can exhale all the air out now. Take an inhale through the nose and exhale out the mouth. Inhaling through the nose and exhale out the mouth. Take one last deep inhale through the nose, and then another exhale out the mouth. And from here, we'll do some seated cat-cows just to open up that spine a bit. So as you inhale, you begin to arch your spine forward, looking up towards the ceiling, and then round the back as you exhale. And you can continue like this, or take any kind of movement that feels good. So just waking up that spine. And then return back to center whenever you're ready. And we'll get into our first yin pose, which will be a supported fish pose. So this is where you might want to grab your blocks. If you don't have them, it's all good. And you're going to place that first block about 2/3 the way up the mat on the medium height, and you can always change the heights of the blocks. And then you can place that second block all the way up at the top at the highest height. So that's going to be where your head rests. So start to sit in front of those blocks and start to lean back so that your kind of upper body, or mid-back is going to hit that first block, and then your head is going to rest on the second block at the top of the mat. So again, you can always change the heights of the blocks for whatever feels comfortable to you. And if you don't have the blocks, you can just do this on your back. An option to bring the feet with the soles together into a butterfly shape, or have those legs stretching out long. Again, it's whatever feels comfortable to you. And try to really let those arms just drape out to the sides, really opening the chest and the heart space here. And try to breathe deeply into that space. Should feel really good if you're used to being hunched over throughout your day. And just remembering to breathe really deeply here. And let's take a couple more breaths here. And then slowly start to press back up onto the forearms and then back up onto those hands. You can remove the blocks and place them over to the side. And if you had your legs in this butterfly shape, just beginning to gently draw them back together. And we'll make our way onto our hands and knees. And once you're here, you can return back to those cat-cows or take any kind of fluid movement here that feels good. So maybe some circles in the body. Again, just listening to whatever feels right for you. And return back to center, and we'll make our way into a melting heart pose. So if you want a super deep shoulder opening, you can grab those two blocks again and place them at the top of the mat. Definitely not necessary. And you want to bring your knees and hips together so that they're in line. And if you're using the blocks, you can bring those elbows to the blocks and then bring the hands into a prayer position and start to draw your chest down towards the mat. So maybe the forehead is touching the mat. And if you don't want to use those blocks, you can just stretch those arms forward and maybe grip the top of the mat with your hands. And if you feel any tension or pain in the arms and shoulders, you can always walk the arms wider across the mat. And again, try to breathe deeply into the shoulders. And let's take 2 more breaths here. And then slowly start to slide back onto your mat, staying low to the ground. And coming into that closed leg child's pose with the knees together and the arms reaching back out long. And pausing here for a couple of moments. And take one more breath here. And then still staying low to the floor on your mat, begin to slide forward into a Sphinx pose. So your forearms are going to be pressing down on the mat, parallel with each other, and the gaze will be out slightly in front of you. So again, a really nice heart opener, chest opener, kind of reversing all that forward folding and hunching over that we're doing. Option, if you have a block, to grab that block and place it underneath the forehead, just for some extra support. And if none of that feels good, you can always bring both hands down to the mat and rest the head on the hands instead. And try to imagine the breath traveling all the way up and down the spine. If you'd like to go a little deeper, you can make your way into a seal pose by bringing the hands to the corners of the mat diagonally and pressing up onto those hands. If you feel any pain, any crunching in the lower back, that's a sign to back off. Being in Sphinx is great too, but just another option. And let's take one more breath in Sphinx or Seal. And wherever you are, start to slowly lower down to the ground, stacking the hands on top of each other. And resting on those hands, maybe wiggling out the hips a little bit. And then pausing back in stillness for a couple of moments. Take one more breath here. And slowly start to press back up onto hands and knees. Feel free to take a couple of cat-cows again if that feels good. And then return back to center whenever you're ready. And we'll come into a thread the needle pose. So try to keep knees and hips in line as you reach that right arm up to the sky really wide. Then start to thread that right arm underneath the left so the right shoulder is pressing down on the mat. Option to extend those left fingertips out in front of you if that feels good. And breathing into the shoulder opening. And we'll take a few more breaths here. And if you had those left fingertips out in front of you, starting to bring them back closer to your face, and slowly start to unthread that right arm, reaching it back up again, and bringing it down to the mat. Maybe take a tiny bit of movement for one breath. And then coming back to center, we'll go into that other side. So again, keeping knees and hips in one line if you can. Reach the left arm up to the sky and start to thread that left arm underneath the right so that left shoulder is pressing down on the mat. Option again to walk those right fingertips forward so the arm is out long in front of you. And really breathe into the spine here. And keep breathing. The deeper you breathe, the deeper you're able to go into the pose. And let's take one more breath here. If you had those right fingertips out long, starting to walk them back in towards you, and then slowly unthreading that left arm and reaching it up to the ceiling again. and bringing it back down to the mat. And pausing here just for a couple of moments and noticing how the body is feeling. And whenever you're ready, you start to come back down into a seated position. And you can stretch the legs out long here. And we'll come into a caterpillar pose. So you can bend the knees as much as you like here. And start to reach the arms up towards the sky and fold forward towards those feet. So we are folding forward here, but this is still a really nice elongation of the back body and the spine, which will be really helpful for improving your posture. So again, try to send all the breath down the back body. Again, the deeper you breathe, the deeper you're able to really sink into the pose. And let's take one more breath here. And slowly start to walk back up those legs. You can bring the hands behind you, maybe bend those knees, and take a couple of windshield wipers here, rocking those knees from side to side can feel really nice. And then returning back to center, and we'll come all the way down onto our backs, hugging the knees into the chest. And we'll come into a reclining twist. So option 2, come to a twisted roots pose where you'll wrap the right leg underneath the left. And if you can wrap the ankles, you can do that too. And start to drop those knees over to the right and reach that left arm out long into a T shape or cactus shape. If this twisted roots position doesn't feel good for you, you can just come into a regular double leg twist instead. So you're getting that nice opening along the front of the left shoulder, which will really help with your posture throughout the day. And let's take one more deep breath in the twist. And slowly start to draw those knees back to center. And if you had those legs in that twisted shape, beginning to unravel them. And we'll come right into the other side. So if you want to do that twisted roots position, you can wrap the left leg underneath the right this time, and maybe wrap those ankles if that feels good. And start to drop the knees over to the left and reach that right arm out into a T shape or cactus shape. And again, if this twisted roots position doesn't feel good, you can always go for a regular double leg twist. So again, feeling that really nice opening in the right shoulder and trying to breathe along the spine. And take one more deep breath in this twist. And slowly start to draw the knees back to center. And if you're in twisted roots, beginning to unravel the legs and draw the knees into your chest. Maybe rocking a couple times side to side. And from here, taking any final poses or movement that your body is needing to feel complete before we go into Shavasana. So you might want to go for a happy baby or a snail pose. And whenever you're ready, no rush at all, begin to slide those legs out long so you're laying flat on the mat and draping those arms out to the side, and surrendering into the earth for your final resting pose, Shavasana. And if you have the time, I encourage you to stay in this Shavasana as long as you like. But if you have to get going, let's close with one last breath, exhaling the air out now. Take a deep inhale through the nose, and a big sigh out the mouth. And I hope you're feeling more open in the chest and the shoulders as you go throughout your day, both physically and energetically. And thank you so much for practicing with me. If you'd like to see more Yin Yoga classes like this, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again next time.